I never thought a simple office transfer could upend my life like a hurricane ripping through the calm Midwest plains where I grew up. Back in Omaha, Nebraska, life was predictable. Cornfields stretching forever, family barbecues on Sundays, and a closet so deep I buried my truths under layers of denial. But New York City? It was a beast of its own, chewing up dreams and spitting out survivors. I'd been at Apex Marketing for 5 years, climbing from junior copywriter to senior strategist, all while keeping my personal life locked away like a classified file. Relationships, they were casualties of my fear of judgment, fear of loss, fear that the world wasn't ready for a guy like me who loved other guys. That Monday morning in early spring, the office buzzed with the usual chaos. Phones ringing off the hook, interns dodging between cubicles like pinballs, and the scent of overbrewed coffee hanging heavy in the air. I was buried in a pitch deck for a new client when Sarah, our HR rep with her perpetual ponytail and optimistic grin, poked her head into my office. "Adam, meet your new team member, Ethan Hale, transferring in from our Chicago branch." He stepped in behind her and time stuttered. Ethan was unassuming at first glance, tall but not imposing, with a lean build that spoke of weekend hikes rather than gym obsessions. His hair was a tousled mop of sandy blonde, falling just over his forehead in a way that begged to be brushed aside. But it was his eyes that hit me. Warm hazel, framed by subtle laugh lines, holding a quiet kindness that made the room feel less sterile. He extended a hand, his grip firm yet gentle. "Hey Adam, heard great things about your work on the Verizon campaign." I shook his hand, forcing a professional smile while my pulse betrayed me. "Welcome aboard. Chicago treating you well before this?" He chuckled softly, a sound like wind through autumn leaves. "It was fine, but New York's got that energy, you know? Looking forward to diving in." Sarah left us to it, and as Ethan settled into the cubicle next to mine, I couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted. He was kind from the start, offering to grab coffee during my endless meetings, sharing tips on navigating the subway like a pro. Quiet, too. He didn't dominate conversations like some of the loudmouths in sales. Instead, he listened, really listened, with that subtle nod and those eyes that seemed to see right through my facade. Our first real interaction came that Friday. The team was swamped with a deadline, and by 8 p.m., the office had emptied out except for us. I was staring at my screen, words blurring from exhaustion, when Ethan appeared with 2 steaming mugs. "Black, no sugar, right? Figured you could use a pick-me-up." "How'd you know?" I asked, accepting the cup gratefully. He shrugged, perching on the edge of my desk. "I pay attention. Plus, you muttered something about it during lunch." We talked then, really talked. He shared about growing up in rural Illinois, the son of a factory worker and a teacher, how he'd come out in college and lost half his family in the process. "It hurt," he admitted, his voice steady but laced with old pain. "But it made me who I am. Kinder, I hope." I opened up a fraction, about leaving Nebraska for the anonymity of the city, about the ex who had ghosted me after I confessed my feelings. Ethan's smile, when it came, was like sunlight breaking through clouds. It wasn't flashy. It was genuine, crinkling the corners of his eyes and making my chest tighten in a way I hadn't felt in years. For the first time, my heart forgot to be afraid. Weeks blurred into a rhythm. Ethan and I became inseparable at work. Brainstorming sessions that stretched into late nights, shared lunches in Bryant Park where we'd watch joggers and dreamers alike. He had this way of making the mundane magical, pointing out a street performer's melody or the way sunlight danced on skyscrapers. I found myself stealing glances, my thoughts wandering to what-ifs. Was he interested? Or was this just friendship? One evening, after a successful pitch, the team hit a bar in Midtown. Beers flowed, laughter echoed, but Ethan and I ended up in a quiet corner booth. "You ever feel like you're just going through the motions?" he asked, his fingers tracing the rim of his glass. "All the time," I confessed, "like I'm waiting for something real." His hand brushed mine under the table, a spark that jolted through me. "Maybe it's right here." That night, under the neon glow of Times Square, he kissed me, soft, tentative, then deepening with a hunger that mirrored my own. We stumbled back to my apartment in Hell's Kitchen, clothes shedding like old skins. His touch was reverent, exploring with a quiet intensity that made me feel seen, truly seen, for the first time. But dawn brought doubts. As Ethan slept beside me, his arm draped over my waist, I stared at the ceiling, heart racing. What if this ruined everything? What if he left like the others? Little did I know, the real storm was brewing. Not from my fears, but from secrets Ethan carried like hidden scars. The weeks following that night were a whirlwind of stolen moments and deepening connection. Ethan and I navigated the office with careful discretion. No lingering touches in the hallways, no meaningful glances during meetings. But outside those glass walls, New York became our playground. We'd wander Central Park on weekends, hands intertwined once we were out of sight, sharing stories under the canopy of blooming cherry blossoms. He told me about his dreams of writing a novel, inspired by the grit of city life, and I confessed my secret passion for photography, capturing the raw humanity in strangers' faces. Ethan's kindness extended beyond us. He volunteered at a local LGBTQ center in Chelsea, helping at-risk youth with quiet empathy. I joined him one Saturday, watching as he listened to a teenager's story of rejection, his hand on the kid's shoulder like a lifeline. "You're not alone," he said, and in that moment I fell harder. His smile, that damn smile, erased my lingering fears each time it appeared. But cracks began to show. Ethan was evasive about his past relationships, changing the subject with a joke or a kiss. "Let's focus on now," he'd say, pulling me close. I pushed it aside, chalking it up to old wounds. Our love felt real. Passionate nights in my cramped apartment, lazy mornings with coffee and newspapers, whispers of forever in the dark. Then came the promotion opportunity. Apex was expanding, and both Ethan and I were up for the lead strategist role. It was tense, but we promised it wouldn't come between us. "We're a team," he said one night, his fingers tracing patterns on my back. No matter what. The day the announcement came, I was in a meeting when my phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. "Congrats to Ethan. He's our new lead." My stomach dropped. I forced a smile through the rest of the day, but inside, jealousy gnawed. That evening, Ethan showed up at my door with takeout from our favorite Thai spot. "I didn't expect it," he said, his eyes searching mine. "You okay?" I nodded, but the words tumbled out. "Did you pull strings? You've only been here a few months." His face hardened. "What? No, Adam. I earned this." The argument escalated, voices rising in the echo of my living room. "You've been so secretive," I accused. "What's really going on?" He sighed, sinking onto the couch. "Fine. There's something I haven't told you." My heart clenched as he continued. "Back in Chicago, I was involved with my boss. It ended badly. He outed me to the team when I broke it off. That's why I transferred." Relief washed over me, mixed with empathy. "Why didn't you say?" "I was scared it'd change how you see me." We made up that night, bodies entwining with renewed fervor, but a seed of doubt had been planted. Summer heated up, and so did our relationship. We took a weekend trip to the Hamptons, courtesy of a friend's beach house. Salt air, crashing waves, and Ethan's laughter as we built sandcastles like kids. "I love you," he whispered one evening, stars blanketing the sky. "I love you too," I replied, my heart swelling. For once, fear was a distant memory. But back in the city, tension brewed. Ethan started working late more often, his phone buzzing with messages he dismissed as work stuff. I tried to ignore it, focusing on my own projects. Then, one rainy afternoon, I overheard a conversation in the break room. "Ethan's got connections," a colleague muttered. "Heard he dated the Chicago VP. Probably why he got the promo so fast." My world tilted. That night I confronted him. "Is it true? About the VP?" Ethan's face paled. "Adam, it's not what you think." But it was. He admitted the affair had lingered longer than he let on, and the VP had pulled strings for his transfer, and perhaps the promotion. "I ended it before I met you," he insisted. "I swear." Betrayal stung like a slap. "You lied to me. I was protecting us," he shouted, eyes glistening. I stormed out, wandering the streets until dawn, rain soaking me to the bone. How could kindness hide such deception? My heart, once forgetting fear in his smiles, now remembered it all too well. We tried to patch things up. Apologies, tears, promises. Ethan moved in temporarily, his quiet presence a balm. but shadows lingered. At work, whispers grew, rumors of favoritism, questions about our friendship. One day, our boss called me in. Adam, there are concerns about impartiality. Ethan's recommending you for projects. Any conflict. I denied it, but the damage was done. Paranoia set in. Every smile from Ethan felt calculated. The turning point came during Pride Month. We attended the parade in Greenwich Village, rainbow flags waving amid cheers. Ethan pulled me into a kiss amid the crowd, bold and unapologetic. For a moment, it was perfect. But later, at a bar, I saw him talking intimately with a stranger. Laughs, touches on the arm. Jealousy flared. Who was that? I demanded later. Just a friend from Chicago, he said dismissively. Doubt festered. I snooped. God, I hate admitting it, and found texts on his phone. Flirty messages from the VP. Miss you. Come back. Confrontation exploded. You're still talking to him? It's not like that, Ethan cried. He won't let go. But the trust was shattered. I asked him to leave. I can't do this, I said, voice breaking. Not with the lies. He packed his things in silence, his quiet demeanor cracking into sobs. I love you, Adam. Please. The door closed, and I was alone again, the city lights mocking my solitude. The days after Ethan left blurred into a haze of numbness. Work became a battlefield. Seeing him in meetings was torture, his hazel eyes avoiding mine, that once warm smile now a ghost. I threw myself into projects, staying late to avoid my empty apartment. Friends noticed. My best buddy Mark from college dragged me to a Yankees game at Yankee Stadium. The roar of the crowd a temporary distraction. Talk to me, man, he said over hot dogs and beer. You look like hell. I spilled it all, the love, the betrayal, the ache that gnawed at my core. He made me feel alive, then ripped it away. Mark squeezed my shoulder. Love's messy, Adam, but you're stronger than this. Strength felt elusive. At night, memories haunted me. Ethan's laugh echoing in Central Park, his touch igniting sparks. I questioned everything. Was his kindness genuine or a mask? The office gossip didn't help. Rumors swirled about our fallout, painting me as the jilted one. Then came the high-stakes client pitch. Apex was vying for a major tech account, and Ethan and I were forced to collaborate. Tension crackled in the conference room as we brainstormed. This angle's weak, I snapped at one of his ideas. He met my gaze, pain flickering. Adam, can we talk? Outside work. No, I said flatly. Let's keep it professional. But professionalism cracked during a late-night session. Alone in the office, rain pattering against windows, Ethan broke. I messed up. The VP, he blackmailed me into the transfer, threatening to out me company-wide. I thought it was over, but he kept contacting me. I deleted most messages, but you saw the rest. Why not tell me? I demanded, anger surging. I was ashamed and scared you'd leave. Tears welled in his eyes. I love you more than anything. My resolve wavered. We talked for hours, peeling back layers of hurt. He showed me emails proving he'd cut ties, begging the VP to stop. Forgiveness hovered, tantalizing. We reconciled tentatively. Dates resumed, dinners in Little Italy, walks along the Hudson. Ethan's quiet apologies rebuilt trust brick by brick. His smiles returned, and my heart tentatively forgot fear again. But fate twisted. One evening, as we celebrated our mending with wine at home, Ethan's phone rang. He answered, face draining of color. What? No, that can't be. It was his sister from Illinois. Their father had suffered a heart attack, critical condition. Ethan booked the first flight, and I insisted on going. We're in this together. The flight to Chicago was silent, his hand gripping mine. At the hospital, the sterile halls echoed our footsteps. His father, a burly man with a ventilator mask, lay frail. Ethan's family greeted us warily. His mother with a hug, siblings with nods. But when Ethan introduced me as his partner, tension spiked. Partner? His brother sneered. Dad's fighting for his life, and you bring this? Ethan stood tall. This is who I am. Adam's part of my life. The visit was fraught. arguments in waiting rooms, his father's weak grasp on Ethan's hand stirring old regrets. "I should have been better," the old man whispered one lucid moment. "Proud of you, son." Ethan broke down in my arms that night at the hotel. He never said that before. Back in New York, the experience bonded us deeper. Ethan's father recovered slowly, and family ties mended fractionally. Our love felt unbreakable, romantic evenings, shared dreams of a future. Yet betrayal lurked. Weeks later, I discovered Ethan had been meeting the VP secretly. Not romantically, but to settle old debts. The man had loaned money during Ethan's hard times. "I didn't want you involved," Ethan explained, desperation in his voice. Fury erupted. "More secrets? After everything?" He pleaded, but I saw red. "Get out. For good." He left, and the silence was deafening. I drowned sorrows in bars. One-night stands that left me emptier. Work suffered. I snapped at colleagues, missed deadlines. Sarah pulled me aside. "Adam, take time off. Sort this out." I did, retreating to a cabin in the Adirondacks. Nature's quiet, forced reflection. My fears, his mistakes, our shared humanity. Was love worth the pain? Upon return, Ethan cornered me in the parking garage. "I quit Apex, starting fresh in Boston. But I can't leave without saying, I regret everything that hurt you. You made me better." Tears stung. "Why Boston? Clean slate. But if you'll have me, I'll stay." Conflict raged. His eyes, that smile, my heart yearned. But trust was fragile. "I need time," I said. He nodded, walking away. The elevator doors closed, and regret hit like a wave. Months passed in a grind of routine. Ethan was gone from Apex, his cubicle filled by a chatty newcomer who couldn't compare. I threw myself into therapy, unpacking years of buried fears in a cozy office on the Upper West Side. "Love isn't about perfection," my therapist said. "It's about growth, forgiveness." I dated casually. A barista with an infectious laugh, a lawyer with sharp wit, but none ignited that spark. Ethan's absence was a void, his quiet kindness a benchmark no one met. I volunteered at the LGBTQ center he'd loved, finding solace in helping others navigate their storms. One crisp fall day, as leaves carpeted Central Park in gold, my phone buzzed. An unknown number. "Adam, it's Ethan. Can we meet? I'm in town." Heart racing, I agreed. We met at our old spot in Bryant Park, benches overlooking the lawn. He looked the same, tousled hair, hazel eyes, but wearier, lines etched deeper. "Boston's good," he said after awkward hellos. "New job, new friends. But I miss you every day." I nodded, throat tight. "Me too." We walked, words flowing like old times. He shared about therapy, cutting toxic ties, rebuilding. I was wrong to hide things. Fear made me stupid. I was afraid too, I admitted, of getting hurt again. Under a canopy of turning leaves, he stopped. "Can we try again?" Slowly, my heart, forgetting fear in his smile, whispered yes. We kissed, tentative yet profound, the city fading around us. Rebuilding was deliberate. Dates without pressure, open talks about boundaries. Ethan moved back, taking a job at a smaller firm. We attended couples counseling, learning to communicate without secrets. Challenges arose. His family's lingering unease during a Thanksgiving visit to Illinois, where his father, now recovering, offered a gruff but genuine welcome. "Takes guts to love openly," he grunted, clapping my back. Back in New York, we faced office whispers head-on. But with Ethan gone from Apex, it faded. Our love deepened, laced with humanity's flaws. We adopted a rescue dog, a scruffy mutt named Max, whose boundless energy mirrored our renewed joy. High drama struck one winter night. Ethan collapsed during a run in the park, chest pains, echoing his father's scare. At the ER, doctors diagnosed stress-induced arrhythmia. Waiting in the fluorescent-lit hall, fear gripped me. "Don't leave me," I whispered, holding his hand post-procedure. He smiled weakly. "Not a chance. You're stuck with me." The scare humanized us further, prioritizing health, balance. We planned a trip to San Francisco, exploring the Castro's vibrant history, hand in hand amid rainbow crosswalks. As spring bloomed again, Ethan proposed on the Brooklyn Bridge at sunset. Adam, you've taught me love's not about hiding. It's about facing fears together. Marry me? Tears flowed. Yes. Our wedding was intimate, friends, family bridging divides. In a rooftop venue overlooking Manhattan's skyline, vows exchanged under twinkling lights. Promises of honesty, kindness, enduring love. Life wasn't perfect. Arguments flared, doubts crept, but we faced them with quiet strength. Ethan's smile still made my heart forget fear, a reminder that love, in its messy human form, was worth every risk. In the end, our story wasn't a fairy tale. It was real, American in its grit and hope. From betrayal's ashes rose something profound. Two men, kind and quiet in their way, building a life where hearts could heal and love prevail.